What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Today you're in for a treat. We have episode 8 of Mining Roundtable, and as always, joined by Red Fox and ChumpChange. What's going on, guys?
Yo, what up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Well, welcome back, guys. If you're checking out Mining Roundtable for the first time, this is a quasi-podcast show type of deal. We get together about once a week, just hang out and shoot the shit and talk about mining and talk about our farms and the latest and greatest going on. So let's kind of cruise around the table here. ChumpChange, what's been going on with you recently within your farm, within your content, within the last week or so?
I had a fire, so that was good. That was interesting. I mean, it was more of a blast of smoke. Scared the crap out of me, not gonna lie. It was kind of unique how it got caught on camera, and I didn't like move the camera away because I was so close to the power button. I was like, oh, like couldn't do it fast enough. But yeah, it was yeah, that made your your stuff go right up into your throat because I thought I fried my board. I really did. I was like so nervous. I was like, did I just fry my H110? Are you kidding me? But no, it ended up all right. And then I just water blocked my first 3090, so that's cool. That'll be coming out.
Really cool.
Yeah, in the next couple days. So you guys will see that soon. What about you, Mike? What are you up to?
I have a question for you. So
what's up, buddy?
When you're filming that video and the smoke and fire or whatever happens, how soon do you think, oh, this is gonna be a good video?
Oh no, I thought immediately delete.
Oh, really?
Is that sad?
I recorded it, right? And I was the first thing that goes through your head is like, I effed up. Like I just messed up. And this sucks. But then I started thinking about it and I'm like, I can't cut this out. Like I have to show this because I made a mistake. It was crucial. And I know that there's other people that have made it. And I just had such tunnel vision. Like I've made this mistake before on a breakout board on the ZSX ones. Really? And it fried the breakout board. It didn't like zap the wire like this. But it was in a little bit of a different fashion, but I know better to check the wires now. And clearly, I don't know. I just had tunnel vision. I was just going at it, trying to get this video out, get the rig built because I had so many cards down and it just, it took over. Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I just immediately thought I got to scrap this. And then I realized I couldn't. I had to save somebody's rig.
Oh man.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I just got 3090 Founders Edition today. And that's my first
one.
I cannot believe how that card is gigantic. So I have like the 3060 Ti and 3070 Founders, but this is my first 3090 Founders. I can't believe how massive that GPU is. It's ridiculous. So stoked on that. Got to figure out how to do thermal pads on those. I've never done a Founders Edition card, or people do like copper heat sinks on the back. So I got to look at that too. But just add it to the never-ending list of things to do. Luckily, it's just like it's in the test bench now. It's not throttling. The VRAM's at like 104. Okay. So it can roll, but as soon as I put that thing in a rig, it's gonna throttle like no other. So
when the ambient air around it's hot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking too. I was like, oh, because I have 5 or 6 3090s now. I'm like, can I wonder if I just throw them in a server case if that'll prevent me having to do any pads. I'm just not sure. So
probably will.
It's just like you get a card in, you're like, oh, I could do this, or I could do this, and I could do this, and I have no time, so how am I going to do this? So,
right. Well, it's easier. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm curious if you were to put that in like a server case, like an Octominer or something like that with those high CFM fans, if that would just like save you the struggle.
Yeah, I also wonder because like the Founders Edition fan setup and airflow setup is like weird compared to like a normal GPU. So I don't know, but ChumpChange, what 3090 did you water block? What was it? It's
the for the Win 3. Yeah,
nice.
the EK water block. I did the active backplate on the back. So I did this off camera last night, just trying to get my feet wet because I have no idea. I've never done any type of water cooling before. I mean, I'm a master plumber, but I've never water blocked a GPU. So I was like, I have to do this, and I can't F this up. So I had to do it at my own time by myself. I just was like, I'm going to figure this out. I have one more to camera, like to video and make a good video. I was trying to search actually on the internet, on YouTube. Nobody has a good video on how to water block a 3090, like properly. Wow. It's just a sped through video and that's it. Like they just speed through it like, you know, 1,000 times, and it's just, they don't explain anything. It's literally, you have so many questions. You're like, what the hell just happened? So
untapped potential. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do like I'm gonna speed up in between, but I'm gonna talk and like show you like where I had questions. I'm gonna answer those questions because it's that video needs to happen. So I'm gonna do that, like I said, in the next upcoming days. So we'll see.
What's going on with you, Hobbyist?
Not a ton. Just kind of nailing things down. I'm just trying to think. I haven't had a lot going on. I've actually found myself buying older cards. I know, right? Back to my roots. So with the market cutting back quite a bit, you know, everybody kind of instantly was like, all right, we're gonna go with efficient cards because of profitability and stuff. And so I've taken advantage of it, you know, in my regard. So picked up a few, like a 1660 Super the other day for $225, and picked up a 1660 Ti, and what I grabbed yesterday, I grabbed a 578 gig to throw in. I have a 570 rig, and I was like, well, I want to throw another 570 in it. I got space for it. So just kind of looking for like these like super deals and like really lowballing people by a ton. And it's actually been fruitful. I'm picking up a 590 tomorrow. Just kind of these quick, like, and they're really Hail Marys. I'm reaching out to these people and I'm offering them 50% of what they're asking and saying, hey, I got cash in hand. And they're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, all right, great. Like if I'm getting these things low enough and can tweak them down and they're still profitable. I mean, most of these cards I'm looking at are $1 to $2 a day, which is still within reason, you know, pretty dang good. But they're older. They're older in that regard. But that market right now, at least in my area, seems to be like booming. Like you go on Facebook Marketplace, and man, people are getting rid of those cards left and right. Now I'm still in the hunt for like 6600s and 3060 Ti's, but I can't help myself. I'm seeing these things. I'm like, I paid $500 for these. Like how many months ago or something. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at recently right now. Slowed down content creation a little bit. That's been a nice change of pace, to be honest with you, but has worked out well. Still a little too early to say if it has been financially fruitful when it comes down to the YouTube side of things. But outside of that, yeah, it's been good. Just trying to make my way through. Drop ceiling's going in. I'm not doing it. It's going in 2 weeks. So I'm excited to finally get rid of that and actually have the ceiling done. But things have been good. It's been exciting times for mining right now. I'll tell you what.
You know what happened? We got all this snow over here. And you know, it's been like slowly melting, but you know where it melted first? My garage roof was just gone.
I wonder why. What do you got? What do you got in there? What do you got in there?
A couple GPUs, ASICs, fine. So
yeah, doing a little hydroponic in there, you know.
But I'll tell you what, having all that cold snow outside for a few days helped cool things down in this house. And if you're watching right now, I have a window open because it's like 80 degrees in this house right now without the heat on, with just everything that's mining in the basement. So
dude, yesterday must have been brutal for you. Yep. Yesterday was like 50 out, and I'm like, I turned off a flex rig I have upstairs on the second floor. My wife was like, can we turn this off? Because it was like 80 up there, and everybody is having issues sleeping. And I was like, yep, turn that off. And that was brutal. But yeah, it was like 50. I don't know if you guys got that yesterday or not, Chump Change, up towards you, but it was warm yesterday.
It was. Yeah, it got pretty hot in the house. Yeah, that's why I decided to take out the 3090. Because I was like, today's the perfect day. It's hot up there. I'm like, I'm getting it out of the attic grow tent, and I'm gonna take it downstairs, take out some of the heat. So, yeah, that was my plan.
Yeah, these like fake winter days, I call them, like yesterday when it was like so warm and stuff like that, and even today. I mean, it finally is down below 30 right now outside, which is nice. But these like fake winter days where it's like high 40s, it's 50s, and that's just when it's brutal. I feel like it all just pockets in your house and just gets so hot, which is rough. Fun. So I thought it'd be fun to chat a little bit. Just kind of what have you guys been buying recently? I chatted a little bit about some of the things that I've been buying. You got your 3090 in. Chump Change, have you really? I think I saw the other day your 6600s, right?
Yeah, I got I know it's backwards to you guys, but I got another 6600 XT. This is the aftermath of returning the 3050. So that's
they had one there then
dude,
at was it Best Buy?
they no, this was at Micro Center. So they
Micro
had
Center.
literally a whole bunch of cards. They had a bunch. It was I just so my guy went back because he bought it for me, so I had to have him return it.
Your guy,
so
the
I was
guy you
like,
pay to get you
take
GPUs.
This. Right. I was like, take this. I was like, go. I'm like, just call me when you get there. I'm like, let me know what they got. And worst case, I'll just I'll have you buy some like water cooling parts or something. And he's like, dude, they have a whole bunch of stuff. And he's like, the 6700 XT, 68. He's like 3060 Ti's. Like they had everything. And I was like, they have a 6600 XT. I'm like, because I need one more for that 11 card rig I got. So just traded in for that. I'll give you the extra $100, whatever it was. And that was it. So yeah, I lucked out there. Yeah. So what about you, Hobbyist? You just old cards. That's it. That's all you got this week. It's the supers and stuff.
What did I get? I got that Asus RX. I was looking up there behind me. Those are the cards that don't have a home yet. Not as big as Mike's, but we're getting there. But 6600 XT, that's the second one of those I have. So now I'm to the point where I have a 6600 rig, and I am almost ready to go ahead and build a 6600 XT rig. I got to pull 2 out of another rig. So I'll have to, I have 8 mining, 9, 10 now. So 10 of the 6600. So yeah, I mean, I've just been keeping an eye out on those. And every time somebody shoots me one that's within reason of price, I just eat it up right now. I mean, I feel like it's too good. You know, you might as well, like, it's too good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's the prices, and it's going to be good either way. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been at. I've been watching Newegg. Newegg's been interesting with their shuffle. Like, keeping an eye on that. And they were really pushing those 3050s. You could tell they had a lot of stock, and nobody was nabbing those up. But I've been trying 3060s, 3060 Ti's. No luck really recently, but I'm only really going to buy those if they come up in the shuffle. Every time I come across those, no good. Oh yeah, and then I might have an opportunity. Well, I think as long as everything's still good, to nab I think it was a 3060 and a few 1660 supers that Mr. Red Fox got me connected with. So I got a few of those coming in too. So yeah, so much for like buying like 1 GPU a month. That's long gone at this point. That's not happening anymore. That's like one GPU. It's like 2 GPUs a week now, I feel like.
It's funny because as soon as like the market went down and then today started coming back up, right? Ethereum's as of recording this video almost $3,000 again. So I'm like, okay, what do I want to buy? We're back, baby. Let's do this. It's fun. I was just thinking about when everybody's talking about these 6600s and 6600 XTs, man. Like when those came out, all the miners just laughed at those cards.
Yep.
Right. And here we are. And I was just thinking too, like, you know, I think Red Panda did a video on this too, and I think we're probably all thinking the same thing. Was, you know, looking at your setup and getting it the most efficient you can as the market was going down. This is the thing you're all considering. And I'm sitting there looking at, I have 8 RX 580s in the server case mining, but on the shelf next to it, I have like 8 6600 XTs doing nothing. I'm just like, yeah, this is silly. Like, let me just stack those 580s on a shelf and do nothing and get these 6600 XTs or 6600s in there. So I'm going to get around the same amount of hash for, I mean, what are you talking? Half the wattage? More than half the
they're about, I had one on my test bench. They're about 125-ish, somewhere in there, versus kind of where we're at. So yeah, I would say you're pretty much a safe bet is to say 50%.
So I was
what is it saying in the software for your 580s, Hobbyist? Do you know?
I'd have to look. I don't look in the software, ChumpChange.
No, I'm asking you what it says in the software compared to what it is at the wall. Because mine say like 70 in the software, so I'd be shocked if they actually were doing 125.
Oh yeah, mine say that type of stuff. Yeah, I'd have to look. I'd have to look and see again and log in. But yeah, I just had one on the test bench last night. I'll look real quick here while we're taking a 2-factor authentication. Not logged into Hive OS, you know. Let me look here. Yeah, it says 90, 80, 88, 90. 81, 85, 73, you know, they're kind of all over the place in Hive OS. But yeah, 125 is where I'm seeing it at on and I had my VDD down to almost 165 when I was testing it out too. So yeah, they are not power efficient.
I should give you my clocks after this and see what it comes out to.
I'll put it at the wall.
It might help.
Put it at the wall.
Yeah, but, miner 80 lowest is 82 watts, highest is 90 watts in
lowest
in
is 75. Really?
Yeah, in Hive OS.
What?
So
I
have 31 mega hash, 75 watts. I have core at 1150. The DPM is 1, 850 on the VDD, memory 2100, and the MDPM is 1.
Yeah, that's the normal. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to your memory on those.
Interesting.
You can get higher memory on the Hynix and the Micron on the 580s versus like the Samsungs and stuff.
Yeah, these are all Hynix. Interesting.
And yeah. So I'll be doing a video in the next 2 weeks on the 590 versus the 580 versus the 570, all on 8 gig. So it's gonna be one video comparing all three of those cards because they're all built off the same architecture, and kind of just comparing some of that stuff. So I will dig deeper into that. Yeah, Mike, it seems like a no-brainer for you. Swap those out, put the 6600s in.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. And then I'm probably just going to stack up LHR GPUs and replace those with some full hash rate ones I got sitting around.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a whole day of taking stuff out and rearranging. It's just so much work.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I found myself, it was really interesting. So like tonight, I was like, I'm not doing any content other than this. I'm like, I just want to catch up on stuff. So I made like a laundry list of things to do. And I was like cleaning a GPU behind me, that 570. And I'm like, man, this is so much fun. Like not recording and just like doing mining stuff. And you get it done 10 times faster. Like, as you guys know, it's like, you know, I want to do this. Okay, I do it. Bam. 10 minutes later, you're done versus, oh, I want to record it. It's like an hour later. But yeah, that's the type of stuff I want to kind of try to find some more time for, because just like you had talked about, like the stuff just stacks up. You know, like mining rigs you want to do, or cards you want to swap out, or things you want to clean. That's all stuff that I think that happens a lot more often, and then we just don't get to because we were content creating. Be so much more efficient if you were just mining and not content creating.
Right. I actually have a question for you guys. So now that I'm on like this water block kick thing, right? Have you guys ever thought about doing that mineral oil thing that Ash Raptor did? Because like I'm kind of looking into that for not mine, but the wife's 570, the one that the anonymous miner.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, this thing gets freaking hot. I'm like, I kind of want to try to mess around with that mineral oil just to see if I can get that thing cool.
I think you gotta use. I think
pump it out to cool it out.
I think mineral oil is the wrong thing to use, and like, because that's if I would look at whatever BBT is using in his.
That's
farm.
what he used.
Did he use regular mineral oil though?
I think it might have been a different one, but I don't know. I know. I actually asked Rondi that. I was like, what did BBT use? And he said the same thing. And I was like, huh. I'm like, all right, because I kind of want to mess around with it. Because, like, so I know if you have it in a fish tank, right, like a 10-gallon fish tank, put 10 gallons mineral oil, whatever, 8 gallons mineral oil, it's going to get hot, okay? It's not going to cool off because it's just sitting there. So I would put a hose into it to pump it out into a radiator and then back in, you know what I mean? And just to kind of cycle it out more or less like a water block, but everything's inside the liquid. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't work. I would just have the USBs out and the power cords out, or just throw the server PSU in there with it. Who cares? But I don't know. I think it would be very interesting. So I think I'm going to give that a shot. I was like, I have it on Amazon cart. I'm ready to hit the button. I was like looking at it right before I came down here to do this. So I was like, oh, do I want to do this? I don't know. It's a goddamn mess. I know that, but we'll see.
I was thinking of investing in those, and Hobbyist, I think you and I have talked about this, those ultrasonic cleaners. Yeah. I'm looking at some of my GPUs down there, and they're looking nasty. And the motherboards too are just like, some of the ones on the bottom of the grow tent are just got so much dust on them at this point. I'm just like, man, thinking about getting one of those. They're not too bad. I just think whatever you put in it liquid wise is what starts to rack up the dollars.
What
Correct.
Did Panda use Windex? Is that what he used?
Yeah, that's what he used. Yeah.
Is that like is that the thing to use? Like,
I think there's like special stuff.
Okay, I was so confused. I was so confused when you like bust out Windex. Oh man, that was crazy. But yeah, no, it was pretty interesting. I was wondering what Liquid used for that too, but I don't have cards that are like, I guess, mining as long as you. So
Yeah.
you'll probably be the first one to get that out of all of us, I would assume. I mean, unless Hobbyist keeps buying other people's stuff.
That's right. Yeah, I looked at I was like serious, like in my Amazon card, I was gonna buy it and everything like that. And it's the ultrasonic cleaner, and then they have there's a company called 𝐓𝐸 that sells but like for 25 liters of it, it's like $340. So like it's like really expensive. You know, something like this size is like $200. Yeah. Like a bigger thing. So it's definitely expensive, but that's the right stuff to use. But the downside is like, yeah, think about it. Like you put your card in there, you almost want to clean. It is not a lazy man's cleaner. So you want to clean your card hardcore really good before you put it in there. Because if you put it in there filled with like disgustingness, your water's black in like no time. Yeah. And now you literally are like, okay, I cleaned one card and now I'm out $200. It's like, so you want to like really clean your cards like you traditionally would, and then put it in there as almost like the polish on the, you know, to go ahead and make sure it's like perfect.
Right.
So
I mean, I guess you can hose your stuff off. I mean,
yeah. If you have like a guy, do you have like a guy?
Do you have a guy?
That does this stuff?
Yeah. Right. Yes.
No. Unfortunately, I
totally
agree. But
so,
yeah, be cool.
So hold on, is Helium ever is this company ever going to drop Helium Miners ever again?
Oh like, my God, MNTD.
Like,
no.
So they had a few drops. They had a drop in November, and that was the last successful big drop they did. But they kept having issues with bot. Oh, then the drop they did after that, Shopify literally like timed them out because like of too many requests type of deal. Yeah, because they had bot issues.
Yeah, there's a bot for it.
Yeah, so they were like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and do a like raffle like system, and it was like, all right, cool. You know, like they said, we know it didn't work out. We're gonna do this raffle system. Now everyone's been sitting around like, all right, all those miners that you had ready to line up, because they only list when they have them in stock. I don't know what they did with them. Like, where are they? Are they just sitting in inventory? Like, why haven't they moved them yet? But everybody's waiting to find out what the deal is, because they're one of the few companies that have them in stock. I was chatting with Seb. His just shipped. He has because of an M, Nebra or Nebra or something like that. His just shipped or whatever. So yeah, I'm waiting for one too. I am eager to now that they fixed a bunch of issues with the blockchain network for Helium. Yeah, I'm good. I'm all about it.
If you ever want some entertainment, go read all of the Twitter responses every time they tweet something that's not a release.
I do it. It's so good. They put this stupid guy up like giving like giveaways for like hey, we're gonna give away some shirts and stuff, and people are like stop this stupid social media crap and do a drop already. And they're always like, keep an eye on our, I don't know who their social media guy is, but they're so out of touch, because they'll be like, oh, check out this, or like, keep an eye on our website here. And they give a short link for trackability with analytics. And it's like all these people that go to your website. Oh, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. It's did you have any issues with your miner, ChumpChange, or you weren't even keeping an eye on it like over the last month?
So I actually 2 or 3 days ago, maybe, I actually moved it to a different location. So it's actually earning something now, which is nice.
Nice.
It's not much, but I think it has to like fully sync or whatever at the new location. I don't know how that works, but it's getting something consistently. So
have you paired it on your phone yet? You can pair it and check the sync status.
Yes, I did, but I don't know if I can check it now.
You can't. You have to press the button. Right. So there's a button on the outside of it you can press, and then it activates the Bluetooth pairing, and then you could go on your phone and check the app to see like how close it is to finish syncing. It took mine after I swapped out. So I swapped my micro SD card to a 64 gigabit one recently, about a week ago, and then it took 16 hours for it to fully sync back up. And it was reporting that it was good, but I had an issue where for almost a month I struggled with it being offline, online, like syncing nonstop and all this. long story short, Helium developers made an announcement back on the 28th that they actually needed to cut down on the amount of rewards available from like 90-some thousand per day of Helium down to 60. So yeah, think of it, 1/3 of your daily profits were cut down on. And then they also cut down on the max amount of witnesses that you could connect to, because they found that the network just couldn't handle it. So the network has gotten so big that it can't handle it the way it is right now. So they're saying they're gonna leave it like it is now for a while and develop against that, so that they could eventually turn things back up to support it, because they said miners were dropping off the network left and right and having offline issues and stuff like that. So since they made that announcement, mine's been back up and good, and I'm at about $11 a day on it right now, which on a $400 investment, that's my best miner out of like everything right now. And everything
definitely don't get that.
down. Yeah, so that I'm at $11 a day at 15 witnesses right now, and that's just in my attic. And the video I dropped today, I bought a 5.8 and an 8 dB antenna that I'm going to be putting on the house one of these sunnier days and testing it out.
Interesting. Yeah, so mine says I have 2 witnesses now, but so I got, there's like a whole bunch of hexes around me where I just moved it to, like a whole bunch. Like I'm like right in the middle of my own hex. So
okay, it's good.
This hex is touching me. There's just a bunch of other places that I can reach. So it's nice. It's way better than where I'm currently located or where I had it before. So I'm interested to see if it picks up in the next couple days. It does say like on the progress that all 7 steps are complete. It never said that before, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand any of it. It's just I'm just like plug it in, see what happens. I don't really care.
No, definitely. Yeah, Mike, I'm glad you're eager to nab one. I think you're like the rest of us. You might have to just don't buy one that you have to wait like a year to get, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
So
I got in something else. I forgot to mention it. I got the FPGA in that I bought. The design.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, video time.
I didn't even get an email that it shipped. It just showed up at my house. So, I mean, for anybody who's ordered one, who's perhaps listening to this, the ship time that they gave me originally, like the lead time was dead on. I think it was either 3 to 4 weeks or 4 to 6. I can't remember back then, but it was dead on to whatever the initial quote was. What I'm waiting for now is you can't just plug that thing in and turn it on because it'll like melt. You need to cool it because they're designed to be in like, I guess like legit servers, not even just like mining server cases. So reached out to somebody over in the Team Red Miner Discord who 3D prints and get like essentially sell you a whole kit of a fan, a 3D printed shroud for it, and all the screws and everything you need to put it together. So that'll be coming, and then I got to learn how this thing works. But I'm pumped. I am so stoked to get into that world.
Heck yeah.
Get some mineral oil. It'll be fine.
Yeah, some mineral oil. Throw it in a fish tank. A couple fish in there. Make sure I feed it every morning. We'll be good.
Right. It'll be very interesting, to say the least.
The other thing I got in today actually was my second DogeCoin miner, the Goldshell one. I mentioned it to ChumpChange. So this one was I know ChumpChange, you struggled with this on just the fact of it doesn't have RGB fans, doesn't have the etchings on the side, stuff like that. So this one does have it. So you can see behind me here. There you go.
Nice, nice.
So I have a theory that the ones that are partnered, like the 𝐓𝐨𝐼𝐻 ones and stuff like that, I have a theory that a lot of those are the kind of the ones you want. Like they come with the RGB, they have the etchings on the side, because it seems like when they just do a sale to do a sale, they just don't have it at all.
Well, they did the Halloween one, and that's how I got the RGB on mine.
Blows my theory out of the water then.
So yeah, I honestly think they're just lazy mofos, and they just are cheap. Like they just don't want to put the extra. You know what I mean? If they have the parts laying around, they do it. But if they don't, they just slap them together and put them out the door. I feel like that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's a totally different model actually, like firmware in there, because I was comparing my current one, like my original one, versus this one. And in the firmware, you can see it's a different firmware model. And in addition to that, you have the option to like change the lighting, the fan speeds are in there. And I was like, this is so not like it. They literally are two different models. is what I'm finding. Like, totally different. Now they're hashing about the same, so that's at least reassuring. Yeah, so I was happy to get a second one. I mean, I got 2 hanging behind me here now on the table, just hanging out. The one's lackluster with nothing crazy, and the other one's looking all fancy.
Now, do you have to? Did you have to pay duty tax or whatever it is?
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, no.
So I was after last time you had dealt with that. I had set like on the DHL tracking, like checked like text me updates and stuff. So it had texted me like when it left Hong Kong, and then when it got into New York, and then it hit like DHL, and it said something in the text about customs. I'm like, oh god! So I like logged on the website for DHL. I'm like reading it, and it said like it was on hold in customs, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I'm like, it better not. Thankfully, it released the same day, all the way through, nothing, no issues at all. So I was like, yes.
I will never order multiple again. I'm just gonna order one and see how that goes. But yeah, if they drop more, I'm definitely looking to get more. I like them, to be honest. They're just set it and forget it. You know what I mean? And like, I'm never gonna touch these coins. I'm just gonna leave them wherever they're mining to and see you later. If they blow up someday, Elon Musk decides to make them POS friggin' coins, you know what I mean? We'll ride it to the moon, whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful they're mining Litecoin as well. I have a little more faith in that. Granted, Litecoin hasn't anything going on for a little while, but Litecoin there, and then also the Dogecoin. I'm in the same mindset. It's like a fun little project. You know, it's like, all right, cool. Set it up. We're good to go. You know, it's the same thing. That's in the same bucket in my mind as like Helium. It's like, all right, cool. Like, we'll throw it out there, and if anything comes of it, awesome. If not, not a big deal. The investment isn't that big. I mean, it's $400 on the Helium side, and these were $699, so a little bit more. So you're talking like a graphics card there. But still, I'm like, sure, why not? Just let her roll, you know?
Yep. So what about you, Mike? You don't like them? The Doge miners, or?
That's how I feel. It's a thing I would just I would just get one, and then I would probably be like, all right, that's what it does. Let me go get more GPUs now.
right. Yeah, there's really nothing you can do to it.
I don't know. It's kind of like the Helium is definitely a little more intriguing to me, but almost like CPU mining. Like, you know, is it worth is it worth all the energy to go into it? All the hard drive mining that was like hyped up and still exists. It's just like, it's all these different like segments of mining, but I feel like the tried and true is the GPUs, even the ASICs and stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I agree. Absolutely.
Cool. So thought about a few questions here. Came from Discord, which I thought would be, some of them are more content related. So I thought, okay, cool. It kind of give people kind of an insight into, as we are 3 content creators in that regard. So one of the questions people had asked, and we don't have to go too lengthy in them, but what is your favorite type of video to make? So which type of video are you most excited about making? And then we'll flip it and say, which videos do you dread doing but still do? So Red Fox, we'll start out with you. What is the favorite video where like you really look forward to doing when it comes about?
Thank you for starting with him.
Yeah. I was like, please start with chump change.
Dang it, teacher put me on the spot.
All right, can I start reverse, because I have an answer for least favorite. Least favorite.
Yep.
So, really common for all of us to do like hash rate videos or compare different GPUs. It is so much work to do that.
Yep, it is.
It's like, it's probably, I would say 90% of the work is the testing off camera, and then 10% is like the filming. And I think that's something, because you also you want to get it right. So when I do hash rate videos, usually it's when a new card comes out, so there's not a lot out there. And then like when the 6600s or XTs came out, I'm like, all right, I'm like one of the first people doing this, but I'm still trying to, I do all my testing, and then I still try to find anybody else that might have this card, whether it's a really small, low view video on YouTube, or a hop through all the different YouTuber discourse, see if anybody's had anything, post anything, just to see if I'm in the right ballpark. And I'm making sure I'm not embarrassing myself when I upload a video and somebody in the comment section is like, duh, you did that wrong.
Oh yeah.
So those take so much work. And that's when I got like spreadsheets up, and I'm like tracking to make sure I'm getting the most efficient. And like, yeah. And honestly, that could be a whole day, multiple days, if I do multiple coins of work to do that video, and then you post it and it gets like, 100 views, and then you move on with your life. And that's it. But,
that's like the 3050 I just dropped. Like
yeah.
literally, that was an all-day affair because I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't post in HiveOS. It was just a freaking nightmare. It took me like 2 hours. It was a friggin' pain in the ass. And then like me and Rondi are sitting here, and we're thankfully I have him to help me out do clocks and stuff. And I'm like, can you start trying to figure out the clocks for this so I can set up the camera and do all this other crap with the power meter and whatever? And it's just, yeah, it takes all friggin' day, man. I totally agree with you, Mike. I'm just cutting in because the whole turn thing doesn't really make too much sense on this one. So go ahead, because that's mine too. It's absolutely mine.
I'll say probably my favorite ones are like the something just came out. It's usually, I think it was when the LHR, partial LHR unlock first came out.
With all the miners, yeah.
And then when I just did one the other day when the dual mining for Lithium came out, like there's this rush that I'm like, oh my gosh, this just came out. I want to get a video out like ASAP.
Yeah.
And I guess it's probably what people like the big YouTubers feel when like a product launch happens, like a new product's coming out, or the embargo is getting lifted, and there's just like all this, we got to do this. Let's just get this going. So I really like those, like a little bit staying up late, but you want to be the first, you want to do the best, get that video out there. But there's also like, you have to sacrifice the perfection you may chase because you want to get it out there quick. So those ones are a lot of fun for me, just to try to get it out there as fast as possible. There's something about being the first person to release something. And there's really cool just getting that out to the community first, where it's like, all right, I just spent, an hour digging through this so you can learn from what I've learned. And then there's just like the rush of trying to get it out as soon as possible. So I really like doing those type of ones, like new miner releases, new this comes out, new that comes out, getting in there first and getting a video up. So those would probably be like the two ends of the spectrum for me. ChumpChange.
Okay, ChumpChange. Yeah, what about you?
What's your favorite type to do?
So I love to build stuff. I really enjoyed doing the grow tent stuff, like cutting into the HVAC system, showing you guys how to do that. It's a shame though, because a lot of those videos don't get many views. And I feel like if people knew what was inside of those videos, they would absolutely watch them, because it's just, a lot of people aren't handy, and that's just like, point blank, that's how it is. Like, people can't do their own stuff. They have to hire people. And I am so well-rounded in pretty much everything, I like to think. And it's not like I'm trying to pat myself on the back, but I've been around it a lot my whole life. And it's just, I've always had to work with my hands. So doing things like that and being able to teach people, I really enjoy it. So when I have the grow tent video, like the one that I'm going to be doing, with the update on the hot cold aisle and showing you how to feed the cold air to each rig, I think I'll really enjoy doing that. But it's really going to be a pain in the ass taking that whole thing apart, because I have to take all the rigs out to be able to do it all right. And that, it's going to be, it's going to be interesting. But those are my favorite. What about you, Hobbyist? What do you like?
So I think we'll start with the ones I don't like the most. And I think the only reasoning behind it, so for me, I think it's mining rig builds. And I think it's only because they take so long to record as a content creator. Like, not creating content around it, great. I mean, a mining rig is like nothing to it. Like, awesome, bang it out, be done real quick. But I think the recording aspect of it, and I've commemorated Red Fox on the fact of a lot of his builds over the last few months that he's recorded have just been like bang, bang, bang. Like, all right, cut, cut, cut. And just like, has done a really good job with that, versus on my side of it, I've just recorded so much content and I always feel so compelled to show it. So that's always like the thing that always like drives me nuts. I think though, on the flip side of that, the stuff I enjoy the most, which is going to be really weird for some people, is GPU cleaning. Like, it sounds weird, but it's like, it's so satisfying to like take it. And it's so easy. It's so easy to do as a content creator.
Other people's dead skin cells. He likes to clean them.
But yeah, it's so easy to do, and it's so nice to be able to, just hang out, shoot the shit, and do that. I really enjoyed. I could never do it because I couldn't focus in that regard. But Mike, I did enjoy how you used to do some of those, like swapping out of thermal pads and stuff like that, and you'd kind of talk on subjects and stuff. Those were always really enjoyable to do, and I thought was like a good happy median, because like you can do a video on like cleaning a GPU or something like that, and you could just like fast forward it and music like Chump Change and I kind of style to it, or you do your style, which I think is really nice. And it's just, and you literally are sitting there chatting. It's not like your voiceover. You're sitting there chatting with your audience while doing it. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I love to get to that point and be able to do that more often. I actually bought a mount to suspend my ZV-1 over the table. So it attaches to the side of your table, goes up. It's got like a an arm that adjusts so you can, the height and everything. And then it goes out and down. So it's like perfectly right above. So I could bring it down, I can bring it up, the whole thing, back, forth, everything. And I used that on the Helium video that I had recorded today, because I was tired of using like a tripod that felt so distant and I couldn't get it. Like, it was just the way the tripods are designed. So I'm excited to use that and do like a GPU cleaning video with that sometime in the near future. So yeah, maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. Dude, back to the rig builds. Those are hard ones to do.
Yeah.
Especially too, because there's so many different angles that you want to show, and you're building like a compact mining rig. And so, when I do them, I'm like turning the rig around on the table, and I got, sometimes I got the overhead, and sometimes I get the handheld camera out, because there's so much that you want to be able to show. But yeah, I used to do like the whole thing. I think I have like an hour long build up on my channel. And then I was just like, I'm not enjoying doing this. People probably don't want to watch this for an hour. Like, I'm glad I did one. Yeah. But after that, I think I did some, and I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to build this and have a beer and not film it. And then I'll come back when it's done.
Nice. It's so nice.
Dude, I put on music in my basement. I'm like jamming out, drinking beer, building mining rigs like the old days. And I'm like, yeah, I like this style better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of finding that happy median, I think, is what's going to work best. Like, I got a few builds coming up that I'm going to be doing, and it's like, all right, man, how do I do this? One, to make it different, and two, to make it more enjoyable. Because it's like, how many times can you build a mine? You know what I mean? Like, how many times can you build a mining rig? Like, they're very similar. It's just, I agree. I look forward to it because it's like, cool. More things are mining, more money, we're hashing, awesome. But at the same time, it's that feeling of like I got to show this and explain this. And yes, I totally agree with you.
That's what I'm going to be doing with the water block. Cause like I said, nobody has a video where they talk about it. They just blast through it with music, and it's like 1,000 times the speed, and they don't explain anything. So I'm kind of not looking forward to having to record that and talk about it, but at the same time, it needs to be done because people need to know. And I don't know. We're gonna see how bad I don't like it.
I think you'll do well with it.
It should be all right, but
putting cameras in the right spot and just kind of hanging out there doing it. I think that's right up your alley. So I think you'll do very well with that.
Appreciate it.
Another question that came up in the Discord. We won't go super long here, just for time wise. But what concerns do you have as a home miner and theft, burglary, stealing? Is that always on your mind? Like, how do you cope with that? Not necessarily as a content creator, but more as a just a home miner in general. Do you try not to advertise that you're doing it? Like, kind of like, how do you deal with that aspect?
Who's starting?
I mean, just go apply for your LTC, and then that's pretty much. I don't know. I'm not too concerned with it, but
okay.
What about you guys?
I'm not really concerned about it. I mean, that's one of the things that's nice about having my rigs right under my feet, literally, when I'm sleeping.
Right.
And I just, like, people that I work with know I do all this stuff. Sure. So I haven't hid any of that.
Right.
I don't get, like, I mean, it's probably Amazon and Best Buy delivery drivers probably know what I do here from the boxes they're dropping off.
Right.
So what I think's different? I think that, how like back in the day, like there wasn't so many cameras around, and there's so much stuff like in the neighborhood, ring doorbells down the street, like you have your own cameras. It's just, there's so many security options that we have nowadays It's not like you're growing pot in your backyard and someone jumped the fence and stole it. You know what I mean? It's like they got to come in your house. They're getting caught. Like they're getting caught if you don't catch them doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at.
The only time that I guess thought about it was we went away for like a long weekend and there was nobody here.
Yeah, that would be scary. Yeah.
And then I just I took an extra camera I had, set it up in the basement, would remote it, had like motion detection and stuff on it. Not that I could really do anything because I was, over an hour away, but
that way you can watch your house burn.
Yeah, that was the only time I was just like, I don't like this.
Can you imagine?
You're calling everybody. You're like 911. I'm on vacation, but my house is on fire.
Man, that'd be brutal. I don't think I used SATA. I don't know what could have went wrong. Maybe ChumpChange was over and built.
Yeah, I followed exactly what ChumpChange did in his last build. I don't know what I just did.
That's insane. So there's something I came across. Have you guys ever heard of fireballs? Like not the drink, but fireballs. So that's something I want to buy at some point. Have you heard of them, ChumpChange?
No, I don't.
So what they are? They look like a saw.
When they get hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they sell those in a cradle that you can mount. So I literally want to put 2 of those in my mining room. And I know it's like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? But it's like, I'm less concerned about my mining equipment at the end of the day versus like my house, my family, whatever. So it's like, I need to look into it more to make sure that it's if it's 100 in there, I don't need to be concerned or like it's not going to dry rot it out or something like that. And all of a sudden it pops. That would suck. It's like if those things are going off, there better be flames. But I've definitely thought about that. Absolutely. Like as we start to do the drop ceiling, I'm like, all right, through my head, I'm like, I need to put like smoke detector in there, like all that types of stuff. And I definitely am thinking about it. Like one on each wall. I mean, one of those would completely cover that room based on everything I've seen. But it's like I'm gonna put one on each wall, and like shit hits the fan, and there's a fire in there, like a true fire, and I'm not around. I hope those things go off. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want in that regard. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys have heard of those or seen those before. They just seem like the best avenue to go.
Right. So like for like pipes and buildings that go up to like residential units and there's a commercial space down below, they have these collars that are kind of similar. So when it gets hot, it implodes, like it crushes the pipe so it can't travel through the hole. It's pretty neat. Yeah. So that's kind of when you said fireball, I was like, yeah, kind of. I kind of get the concept. It's just different. It's like, backwards. But yeah, so that's the only reason I'm like pumped about the town ordinance I had in this house when we were building it. We had to have a fire suppression system throughout the entire house. So every room has a sprinkler in it. And it's in next to like behind my grow tent, you might have seen it in the videos, but it's like a 350-gallon just tank of water just chilling.
Wow.
And if one of those heads pops, my house is going to be destroyed if there's no fire. But there is one right in front of the mining room tent. So it's pretty, it's not bad.
Do you have to have those inspected every so many years and stuff?
Honestly, I have no idea. It's such a, so like plumbing and sprinklers are 2 different things. Like it's a totally different license in the state I'm in. So I don't know. I don't really know. It's just stagnant water, I guess. I just had to put a backflow in so it can't go back into my potable water, but that's it. It's just chilling. Interesting. Yeah.
Mike, any concerns on your side? I know you got a fire extinguisher down there, but just, might not be home or vacation, like any thoughts there? Or have you ever thought about it?
I really haven't thought about it. And sometimes I'm outside and the basement lights are on, it's dark out, and I like walk by. If you walk by like my front door, you can look in the basement window and you can see what's happening down there. There's like, what is going on down there? What I just thought about though, and this happened a little while ago, which is like worst nightmare status, is you guys, Guntis from Mine Shop, he has a YouTube channel too. He had a fire in his, like, he's like, big operation. He had a fire happen, and he lost 500 new in box 5700s.
I saw that. That's when I first got it.
Yeah,
that's when I first got into mining.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first got it was about a year ago when I first got into mining, and I was watching like Red Panda at that point, and he had, and I mentioned Guntis whenever I checked it out, and I remember seeing that. So like Guntis was down from like creating content and everything for a while because of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering why I haven't seen him in a long time. Damn.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It was like it wasn't related to mining. It was like a welding accident or something that happened. But yeah, dude. Yeah, it was like, I guess, like, I think it was probably over $250,000 in GPUs lost, something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to also make you think too. Like, at what point do you start? I mean, this is me thinking through my head. Like, what point do you start putting, like, do you have this on your home insurance policy? You know, like is that a yes, like you do, or just kind of thinking about it?
I do, but I probably have to go change it because I've added so much. I haven't updated the value in like electronics or whatever I customized.
Yeah, I just thought about that. I'm like making a note now.
Get insured ASAP.
Yep, putting it in there. Yeah, it's just one of those things you think about, you know, and it's you know, I know for like somebody that's running 6 GPUs or you know 12 GPUs, it's like, don't go throwing that on your home insurance policy. I think it's a little much, but I think once you start to get to a significant size, when you're talking about, you know, an amount that you have, you know, that's kind of the thing. I think it comes into play. But we were talking about earlier, like burglary and stuff like that. I think the only uneasy thing I run into is like with working on my basements, like contractors coming in and out. Like, what is that? What's going on there? It's like, oh, like just concern type of deal, especially because I have a walkout basement too. That also makes it a little more uncomfortable too, as well, you know. But yeah, it's just kind of unfortunately one of those necessary evils. I mean, my neighbors next door on the side that all the vents are on, they know I crypto mine. Like, they, you know, we've chatted about it before. It's all good, you know. So yeah, it's I don't know. Hopefully it's not as common as what you want to think, and hopefully it's far and few between where you hear stories of people getting robbed for GPUs. Hopefully we're not to that point yet with the way the market is.
Right.
Cool. So
looting at our houses.
I know, right? Anything else you guys wanted to chat about today or bring up today before we go ahead and wrap up episode 8?
Just really the I guess talking about our channels real quick and like what's the new schedule. So I'm trying to do every other day, more or less, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if I can. That is going to be my plan, and then I'm going to be live streaming on Sundays doing the rig picks. But I don't know if I'm still going to be doing Misfit Mining live on my channel or not. I haven't really decided yet. That's going to be something that's a toss-up. But that's the updates to my channel anyways, if anybody's wondering. What about, I know Hobbyist, you changed yours, and I'm not really sure what Mike's doing. He's just whatever. So whoever wants to go.
I haven't changed anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's been really interesting. So most people have seen it, but whatever. Yeah, so I was doing videos 5 days a week, and I've cut back significantly. You know, 2 this week. I'll have 1 over the weekend, which is untraditional for me. Usually it's 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and that's it. It's been an interesting change of pace, and I'm you know, I'm only into like the first week and a half or so of it. Looking at it, and the reasoning behind it for me was just the fact of like I constantly felt rushed to get every day. I had to get out a video. I had to rush to get it out, and I had to rush to do this or rush to do that, and crazy hours, staying up late and all that stuff. And I was like, all right, let's make this a little bit, you know, let's kind of calm this down a little bit and kind of see where we're at. And it's worked out well. I've taken more time on the videos and like being more of a perfectionist as to what they are and stuff. But I've kind of figured out in my mind where it's like, all right, once a week is going to be like a heavy hitting video. Like, you know, the one I did on like smart mining in a bear market, and just kind of diving deeper into that. And then the rest of my videos will be some of these shorter ones that we'll have throughout the week and kind of break them up, because point and click or kind of, you know, talking about the stuff you really want to enjoy about. So I think it's just being more strategic about the content I'm presenting. I feel like there's only so many times you could build a mining rig, or so many times you can do a hash rate video and stuff like that. Right. So, you know, it kind of changes things up. And I think I've seen it, you know, across the crypto mining content creator space. It's like, it seems like people are just being a little more strategic outside of the three of us of just what the content they're putting out. You know, it just seems like it's pivoted versus like let's just get out as much content as we can as fast as we can. And it seems like that's changed up a little bit for the better, you know. Right. I think Mike, you had mentioned it and I forget who else had said that, like, there's just so many creators now in this space.
I was gonna say the market's so saturated, it's just
big and small. So it's like, how are you set? And I think the three of us can agree is like, how are we setting ourselves apart? Is it quality? Is it the quantity of it? Is it the topics of it? Things like that. And I think that's really what I'm starting to see. And what I'm enjoying, it's like, all right, I didn't want to, here's the one thing. I did not want to get to the point where I was burnt out from creating mining content and was like, I need to take a break. I'm out for the next few months. It's like, I didn't want to get to that point. So it's like, let me nip that in the bud and go ahead and correct it now. So that's just kind of where my channel has pivoted a little bit. Mike, what about you? I mean, I know not a ton of change, but for 2022, like, are you taking a different approach? Like, are you doing different kind of what is your avenue? It might not be as drastic.
Well, there's a couple of things I've been thinking about. So, I mean, I used to do this year, it was go to work, come home, do something in the basement, you know, making videos. Maybe the video didn't get released that day, but I was working towards a video getting released. And I 100% got burnt out of my mind. I was like, I don't even want to look at crypto or mining. So I took most of the, really scaled back during the holidays. And then I felt really rejuvenated coming into the new year again. And I made a decision, like, I'm not going to do that grind every night. You know, and I wasn't the person releasing 5 videos a week, but I was still always working on a video. So I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. And I was like, what schedule do I want to give myself? I was like, I don't want to give myself a schedule, because then it's going to force me to have to conform to something, and then it's going to lead me to getting burnt out again. So I was like, you know, I think for me, 3 videos a week would be great, plus a live stream on Sundays, you know, would be great. Maybe I'll do another live stream if I'm feeling good after work one day. Who knows? And that's it. And then, like, leaves me room to do also, like, I think all of us right now are working on our channels and, like, what we can do differently. And it also leaves me room to be like, oh man, this new thing dropped. I want to do a video on that. You know, and really get something out really soon. So the other things I've been considering, because I think a lot of us are thinking about our videos, having a lot of thought into it, a lot of work put into it. And that the other kind of side of this whole thing, some of the stuff that I've enjoyed over the years, I'm thinking about Brandon Coin. He would just post a video. He would get home and just sit at his computer and talk for like 15 minutes about what the current GPU prices are, and like he'd go shopping on Amazon for mining parts. Like, there's no longevity to that video, but that was like, I would watch those. It would be like, what's something I could release that would be cool for like the week, and then it would have no longevity after that, but maybe it would be really easy to film and just be me hanging out. The other thing I was thinking about is BBT does this, and a couple others, is when they do a live stream, they'll go back and take out a segment. Maybe somebody asked them a question and they talked for like 10 minutes about it.
Topic.
And they post that as its own separate, like, highlight video. So
I actually thought about doing that for, like, pretty much exactly what you said. Like, if you do something that's specifically important in that live stream, just clip it. Because I saw some guy that actually did basically the same stuff. He would do like an hour long or whatever, like a half-hour long, like, storytelling video, but he would clip pieces of it that were important, or like that would kind of like grab you, and he would make a short out of it and post it on other platforms and just say, go check out this video. So it's kind of a neat approach, actually, thinking of it like that. So it's a good idea.
Just continuing to experiment, see what I like doing first, you know, got to make sure I'm happy with it, and then see what sticks, what people in the community like. I think that's what I'm going to continue to do this year. That's it.
It's really interesting. You know, crypto mining, a little bit of a lull, just like the market. And then even with just like, with that comes hand in hand viewership and subs and all that types of stuff. So it'd be really interesting to see now that, like, you know, all right, well, are we on that up and up, or is this just a little pop? Like with the 40 going on and 3K going on, it's like, all right, you know, is that it? Are we moving on? You know, or is this just you know? But I think that directly reflects on our situations as well. So yeah, we'll definitely have to see. But I'm glad you brought that up, ChumpChange. I know you had mentioned that previously, yesterday or today, about chatting with that, and I think that was a great item to talk about. But I think it's going to wrap up episode 8, guys, of Mining Roundtable. From myself, Chump Change, and Red Fox Crypto. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Peace.